Hey you guys, today on I Cook and Paint, we are making this delicious, nutritious pumpkin yeast bread. I'm super excited to share this one with you guys, so let's start. Right here I have some lukewarm water to which I'm going to add some sugar and a little bit of active dry yeast. And for all these measurements and a complete printable recipe, go to my blog. There's a link down below that'll take you there. And don't forget to check out my paintings while you're there, guys. Here's a painting I did of a pumpkin. So yeah, stop by and say hi. Okay, right here in a small saucepan, I'm heating up some milk, and to this, I'm going to add some butter. And I usually like to turn off the stove at this point and just let that butter melt away. This way I can't burn it. Now, if your yeast doesn't do this in the next 15 minutes, don't even use it, guys. It means it's dead and this recipe just won't work. So right here, I'm just swirling down that foam a little bit. And now I'm gonna take that butter and milk mixture that I just melted. But before I add it in here, I wanna make sure it's cooled completely. Don't put it in if it's still hot. Now I'm gonna add some salt. And this bread is slightly sweet, so in goes some brown sugar. And right here, I have some pumpkin puree. Now this can either come from a can or it can come from a pumpkin that you've roasted yourself. So go ahead and add that on in there. And now I'm gonna add a little bit of ginger and some nice cinnamon for a little bit of a warm, spicy flavor. Now you could also add in some nutmeg, cloves, allspice, whatever you want. Okay, now I want to start adding in some flour. And this is just regular all-purpose flour here, and I only want to add in just under half the required amount for now. I'm looking for a really thick batter, something like what you see right here. And then usually when I reach about this point, I switch over to whole wheat flour. Now say if you don't like whole wheat bread, you want to make just white pumpkin bread, go ahead and keep using the white flour, it'll still be great. So now I want to clean off that wooden spoon, and you do that by just rubbing flour all over it. You see how nice and clean that gets? And now I want to start using my hands. So you can do this whole entire thing in a stand-up mixer with a dough hook. I forgot to mention that earlier. But I don't know, guys, I'm really old-fashioned when it comes to making bread. I love doing this by hand. So I'm going to knead this for 8 to 10 minutes. When it gets too sticky like this right here, just keep adding more flour bit by bit. Now you don't want to add in too much flour. This should still be a nice soft dough. But after 8 to 10 minutes, it should feel nice and smooth and elasticy. But as you can see here, it's still really soft. Now I'm going to take some cooking oil and drizzle it on the inside of the bowl that I made this dough in. And I'm going to take that dough and just slap it all on the inside there so it all gets coated with the oil. You have to do this whenever you bake bread, guys, or that dough will stick like crazy. So cover it with plastic wrap and let it sit in a warm place for about 2 hours or until it's doubled in bulk like this. Now you want to punch down that dough. Get rid of all those air bubbles in there. This is my favorite part right here. Just slap it on the counter and punch it into a great big rectangle. Now you'll want to cut this into smaller rectangles, and each one of these is going to be a loaf. So here's how I make my loaves. Make each rectangle nice and neat, and then roll it up like a jelly roll, and then pinch down the two ends and tuck them underneath, and just kind of smooth it around, you know, kind of smooth out those seams, and then drop this into a really well-greased loaf pan. Now for my last rectangle, I decided instead of making another loaf that I'd make these little buns. So I cut this into 8 equal pieces, and now I'm rolling them into these like little dinner roll shapes. And you could do this to all the dough if you want to. So go ahead and wrap these with, or cover them with plastic wrap or a tea towel, whichever one you want, and then let them double in bulk for another hour and a half. I know, you have to let this rise twice. So bake these in a 350-degree oven. The loaves will take 30 to 35 minutes, and the rolls will only take about 20 minutes. And that's it, guys. They should come out of the oven a nice golden brown, and they should sound hollow when you tap them. Hey, winter's coming, so keep your house nice and cozy by making this bread and subscribing to I Cook and Paint. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Bye.